Biden seems to be on a rather audacious quest to carve out an unprecedented legacy. And he is doing it all with recklessness. He has kicked things off by pardoning his criminal son, Hunter Biden, which has certainly turned some heads. Then he flirted with the idea of a global war by giving Ukraine the green light to attack Russia with the long range missiles. But wait, there is now more. In a twist that can send the world back to the darker times of 2000s, he has decided to remove the terrorist label from Abu Mohammad al-Jolani, the big cheese of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, an Al-Qaeda splinter group and currently the leader of Syria after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Now, calling this move imprudent might be just an understatement of the century. This could very well be the spark that can ignite a wave of terror attacks worldwide. Why would we think that? Well, take a moment to delve into the details and you will see what we are getting at. According to the Al Jazeera report, the US is gearing up to withdraw the 10 million bounty from Abu Mohammad al-Jolani, who leads the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the group that led the charge against Bashar al-Assad's forces in Syria. In an online briefing, Barbara Leaf, the Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs, shared this news after a diplomatic trip to Damascus, where they met with Jolani, now known as Ahmad al-Shara. Leaf noted that US team welcomed the positive message from him, with assurance that no terrorist group will threaten Syria. Based on our discussion, I told him that we will not pursue the reward for justice offer that has been active for years, she explained. When questioned about the decision to lift the bounty, Leaf described it as a policy decision consistent with the starting talk with HTS, saying that it will be a bit odd to have a bounty on someone's head while engaging in diplomatic discussions. Well, for those who don't know, HTS is still labeled a terror organization by the US and the UN, with roots tracing back to Al-Qaeda, a damn group infamously linked to the 9/11 attack in the United States. This is not just all. There are also clear evidence that proves that Biden himself gave the weapon and support to Jolani to trigger the chaos in Syria. The Global Research reported that the US was flooding Syria with weapons via its Hasaka base, supposedly to fight the ISIS according to General Milley. But here's the catch. This happened during a peaceful period in Syria. What's more revealing is that the US military bases in Iraq and Syria were facing systematic weapon theft. The Intercept's document revealed a troubling trend. Guided missiles, drone, and other military gear worth hundreds and thousands of dollars mysteriously disappeared from 2020 to 2022. Under Biden, the US was not just working with the Syrian Democratic Forces but also with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, despite the terror label. Now these bases are being raided with their weapons ending up in the hand of militias and criminal gangs. And now, on top of that, the Biden administration's removal of HTS leader Jolani from the terror list. This is like watching history repeat itself in a dangerous twist. This isn't just a poor judgment, it is a deliberate echo of the Clinton-era politics that helped create the Islamic terror chaos that led to multiple deaths across the world. The Democrat and deep states' hand-in-hand relation with the extremist group has been a well-documented trail, though the legacy media denies this. Hillary Clinton's candid admission about funding the Mujahideen, who later became America's enemies, is just the tip of the iceberg. The pattern started with Brzezinski's support for what would become Al-Qaeda, followed by the Clinton administration's transformation of Bosnia into a militant base. The 1993 rebranding of Osama bin Laden as a quote-unquote peace warrior by the Independent seems darkly ironic now. Bill Clinton's administration was also accused of working hand in glove with bin Laden through the World Relief Agency TWRA, channeling weapons to jihadists in Bosnia. The same TWRA had connection to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing mastermind. So, from the Clintons' support to the megalomaniac Osama, who later attacked the US, to Biden's recent removal of Jolani from the terror list, the Democratic playbook remains unchanged. It is a continuous cycle of supporting the today's allies who historically became tomorrow's adversaries. The recent chain of events in Syria are raising grave concern about the history repeating itself. the systematic disappearance of sophisticated weapons from the US military bases, followed by the strategic removal of HTS leader Jolani from the terror list, creates a dangerous parallel to the past missteps. This isn't a merely coincidental timing. It is mirroring a historic pattern that once culminated into a catastrophic consequence. By legitimizing and advertising Jolani, a leader who has direct ties to Al-Qaeda, the administration is potentially setting the stage for another security disaster. The precedent is very clear. When advanced weapons vanish and the terror leaders are suddenly legitimized, the aftermath has proven devastating. Make no mistake, this is no silly mess up. The move alone has power to trigger another horrendous episode like the 9/11.